Hey, what's up everyone? It's Americana Ninja here, and today I got the complete ultimate modding guide tutorial for Halo VR. That's right, the black suits down in Oni, they cooked up something special for us today. Christmas has come early. In this video, we'll get you set up faster than the Master Chief can take out an entire Covenant armada. Be sure to check out the description, which contains links to an educational guide that contains vital information important to this mission. Also a link to the Discord, where you can stay up to date and get answers to any problem you may face. Also, in the comments there's a text tutorial, and hey, while you're there, leave a comment, hit a like, hit a subscribe. Help support us, and we appreciate it very, very much. Let's get into it. First, I need you to create 3 folders on your desktop. Name them Arc, Keep, and Delete. Keep and Delete are just sorting folders. I just like to have them. Arc is going to hold our downloads. Now, there's 2 versions of Halo you can install. There's the ISO plus patch, and there's the .7. The ISO plus patch requires a product key. The .7 requires neither a patch nor a key. Both versions work great for the mod. It doesn't matter which one you have. For the sake of this video, I will be installing using the .7, but I will explain the ISO and the patch. Now, before you get to downloading anything, I'll briefly explain some of the downloads. For the PC patch, when you come here, you want to get the PC. There is a CE, you want the PC. Let's go on. Now, the Halo VR mod itself. Here it is. When you scroll down, click halocevr.zip. Download that. Now, with these 2 other mods, you have weapons holsters and you have weapon smoothing. You can only have one of these activated at a time. If you prefer having realistic holsters, where you have to reach up to your shoulder to pull out your weapon, you can choose that. Or you can choose to have weapon smoothing. I'm sure pretty soon both of these will be combined, but until then, pick one. Now, for weapon holsters, you just click this file right here. But when you download it, it will pop up with the name halocevr, so you will have to rename it Weapon Holsters. With basic weapon smoothing, right here, if you click this, it will just reload the page. So what you want to do is come up, click Edit It, and then you want to drop down one from the most recent. Click that. It'll pop this up. And here you can click this. Same thing with weapon holsters. When you download it, it will pop up as halocevr. So rename it to weapon smoothing. So here in my Arc, you can see that I have weapon smoothing, weapon holster, and halocevr. Again, these will download as halocevr, but rename them to their proper names. So now you'll have your downloads and then your game install of choice. I'll go ahead and explain the ISO plus patch. So we'll double click this. This contains my ISO and my patch. Now to mount an ISO, just select it, right click it, left click mount, and then in the prompt, click open. It'll open it up as a folder, and you'll see it here in your drives mounted. Now, just double click setup and it'll start the installation process. During this process, it will ask you for a product key. Also, during this process, I prefer to install the game to my desktop. There will be a created folder called Halo on the desktop afterwards. You can install anywhere except program files. Do not install in the program files. After your game has installed, it will look like this. Here is my game installed. Now, you want to go into the folder, take the patch, and drop it in. I already have one in there, so I'm just going to replace it. Alright. You see it here at the bottom, Halo PC patch. Now, what you want to do is you want to go to Halo Update, the application Halo Update, and double click it. Follow the prompts and it'll update and patch the game automatically. After the installation, make sure to check that your ISO is not mounted still. If it's still mounted, right click and hit eject. That way, you can then move it. So for example, I can take that and put in keep. I'm going to take ISO plus patch folder, it's empty, and put in delete. Keep now has my ISO and my patch. That's going to help us sort all this out as we go along. Now the steps involved into modding Halo into VR works on both the ISO and the .7. All the steps are the same for whichever version you choose to install. I'm going to close this one out and I'm going to take the 7-zip, I'm going to put it in here with my mods so I have a complete list. During this, I won't be using weapon smoothing, I'll be using weapon holster. So I'm going to go ahead and take smoothing out and just put that into keep. These are the main files I will be using. I also want to note that weapon holster and Halo CE VR might not need to be installed together. You might just need weapon holster, but for the sake of being safe, I installed the original latest update for the Halo CE VR mod, and then I install the weapon holster afterwards. Let's get to installing the .7 Halo. What we want to do is we want to take our compressed file, right click it, go to 7-zip, and go to extract to Halo Combat Evolved. That opens up an uncompressed folder. Take our compressed folder and put that into keep. Now take our new folder and double click it. Double click it again. And now go into setup, double click. You'll see setup application. Double click that. This will start the installation. It's extremely quick, very quick, barely an inconvenience. When you're in the setup wizard, click next, and then here, click browse. Again, I like to put this on my desktop, so it's local disk, users, double click, your name, double click, desktop, click OK. So here will be the path. It's hard drive, users, your name, desktop, and then Halo. Click next. Click next again, and then click next one more time, and then install. Alright, what we want to do here is we want to uncheck Launch Halo. Click Finish. So, let's backspace here, backspace and backspace. Let's take this Halo Combat Evolved folder and put that into delete. We don't need that anymore. Now, here's our new fresh game install, Halo. Double click it and go down to the Halo application and right click it. Make sure it's selected, right click, and go to Properties. Inside the Properties, go to the Compatibility tab. Underneath that, make sure Run this program as an administrator is checked. If it's not checked, check it, hit Apply, then OK. This makes sure that it launches in administrator mode, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to take my shortcut and I'm going to move it down here, just out of the way. So in this Halo game folder up here is where we're going to be installing everything. Let's go over here, and what we want to do next is Chimera. You want to right click, go to 7-zip, and then extract to Chimera. Now the same thing, take the compressed file, put that in keep, and then double click on the newly created one. In here you want only 3 files, fonts, Chimera, and strings. Take those and just move them over to your Halo folder. Replace strings, yes. Perfect. Now backspace over here and take that Chimera folder and throw it in delete. Okay, so what we want to do next is come over here to the configuration setting of Chimera and double click it. Or open it up in Notepad if double clicking doesn't work for you. So we're going to want to change a couple of things here. And I got my notes pulled up right here because these are the same notes that will be in the comments. Let's minimize this. Enable overriding Chimera's fonts. So click anywhere in here and then click Control F. And then with that, you can type in enable overriding and then click next. If that doesn't work, go to direction and click the opposite of whatever is selected and click next again. There we go. Now it found it. Enable overriding Chimera's fonts. Enabled 1. We want to change this 1 into a 0. Haha. Next is we gotta create a text file called preferences. So let's right click, let's go to new and create a text document, preferences. Now inside the guide that I have linked in the description and inside the comments, there will be this right here that you got to copy and paste into preferences. Just like that. Look just like this. Close it out and save it. Now, let's minimize this Chimera notepad. We'll want to bring that back. We're going to take this preferences here and we're going to go all the way over to documents. Click that, My Games, and then click Halo, and then double click Chimera, and then paste preferences into here. As you can see, I already have one in here. Now, I just want to say that if you go to Documents and My Games and Halo isn't there, what you want to do is just simply launch the game in flat screen and then exit out. Whenever you uninstall the game, this area remains untouched. So if I were to double click this Halo folder and hit uninstall, it will delete everything in here, but nothing inside here. So we have our preferences inside our Documents, My Games, Halo, Chimera. What you're going to want to do is right click those preferences, hit Properties, and then underneath the General tab here at Location, you're just going to want to copy this whole line. Control C. Highlight and copy that. Now, what you want to do is go back into your Chimera settings here, and you're going to be looking for a line. I'll close that for a moment. Click anywhere, doesn't matter, Control F. It's going to be semicolon EXEC. Hit enter. If it doesn't find it, that's okay. Just go to direction, click the whatever's not checked, and then click find again. There we go. Found it. Set this to execute a given list of commands in an 8-bit text file. That's that text file we made. So right here is the path. We want to highlight that and then Control V. After you copy and paste this in, go down here and type in preferences.txt and then come over here and delete the semicolon before EXEC. By deleting the semicolon, it opens this line up to being used. If the semicolon is there, it shuts the line off. So this is what your final line will look like. Now, let's hit the X and hit save. So before we go on, we don't have to install anything else yet. We just need to simply boot up Halo. So start Halo. And you see down here, Chimera model detail at 8. So our preferences setting worked. While you're in here, you can create a profile or even go to your settings and change your screen resolution. If you want to go ahead and get those set up while you're here, go ahead and do it. Hit quit whenever you're ready. Now we're going to install the DSOAL mod. This is a sound fix for better 3D audio. So let's right click it, 7-zip, extract to, and it'll open this. Take your compressed file, put it in keep. Open up your new file. Take all three of these and paste them over here into your Halo folder. Now click back and then take this folder, put in delete. Now in the files you just pasted in there is Alsoft configuration. Double click that. In this you want to click anywhere and hit Control F and then type in HRTF space equals. Hit enter. If it cannot find it, click OK, go to direction, click the opposite and click next, and it will find it. We want to change this to true. Okay, after you have changed that to true, what you want to do is you want to copy and paste this section right here. It will be in the comments or in the guide that is in the description of this video that's linked. Copy that and scroll all the way down and just hit Control V and just paste that in there. Okay, after you have pasted that in there, just hit X and save. Next is the Halo LAA fix. All we want to do is we want to right click that, extract it, just like we did before. Take the compressed, put it in keep, double click that, take these, paste all the files into here. Perfect. Back out, take that folder and put in delete. Now with those files in there, we want to go to our chimera.ini again. So it's this chimera, the configuration chimera, in your Halo folder. Double click it, and in here we want to Control F and we want to type in enable _ map. Click next. Perfect. Took us right to it. All we want to do is delete the semicolon. Just delete the semicolon before it so it opens up this line. After you delete that semicolon, click the X and click save. We're down to 2 final folders. You've made it to the top of the mountain. That was the hardest part of all this. The next part of installing the VR mod, very easy, barely an inconvenience. What we want to do is take the first Halo CE VR, right click it, and extract it. Just like before, take the compress folder, take it to keep, and then open up your new folder and take all the files and simply move them over to the Halo folder. Easy. Take that and go to delete. Now take the weapon holster and do the same thing. 7-zip, extract, throw the compressed into keep, open weapon holster, take the 2 files and copy them over. Replace all the files in the destination. Yes. Perfect. And now throw that in delete. And there we go. We have an empty arc. And we have a full game folder. Now, before we can get to configuring the VR settings, we have to boot up the game in VR. Now, I'm using a Quest 2, and I'm using Virtual Desktop with Steam VR. This mod works with MetaLink and Steam Link, so use whichever one works for you. Now, all we'll be doing is booting up in VR, and then simply exiting the game. What this does is it generates in the VR folder here a config file. The config file is not there yet because we haven't booted up the game in VR. So I'll be hopping on my Quest 2. I'm going to start Virtual Desktop now. There we go. Got my Virtual Desktop running. I'm about to hop in and we'll get this going. Okay, I'm here in my Quest 2. I'm recording natively in it. I'm in virtual desktop. These are my settings. You can pause and look. I'll go to my streaming. These are the settings here. Okay, if you guys want to look at that, just pause. We're going to go ahead and go over here. And we're going to lower that out of the way. So, start on the left controller brings up this menu right here. We're going to hit Launch Steam VR. Hit Start. Bring up your dashboard. Bring up your desktop. Now I have my VR view in the background for recording with OBS. So try to ignore the trippiness of that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. If your folder here isn't pulled up, all you got to do is hit multitasking and then click over here on the folder. It'll bring up a folder. You can hit desktop. You have your shortcut, or you can go to your folder here, go inside and hit the application here. Multiple ways to start it, but you just double click it. Now you'll hear that pause. In Steam VR, you cannot interact with the administrator mode, but if you hold start on your left controller, virtual desktop will pop back into view. And then what you want to do here is hit switch to desktop. And now from here, you can hit yes without having to leave VR. Okay, that brings in the window. Now, the thing is, I'm going to hit start on my left controller. We're still in virtual desktop. Switch to VR. Okay, we're back in Steam VR. We can return to the game. Now, if you cannot interact with the main menu at all, if you can't interact with it and hit buttons and go back and forth and go into your settings, you can't click anything. All you have to do is go back to virtual desktop, double clicking the left controller, the start button on the left controller, double clicking it, jumps you straight back to it. What you want to do is you want to go down here and click Halo and bring it as the active application. That's all you gotta do, is just make sure you click on it and it's the active application. Double click on your left controller again, and double click the start on your left controller again to instantly jump back to Steam. And then in here, we can you can play it, but you won't have your settings. You'll be snap turn, everything else. So we started it, it's successful. What we want to do now is just quit out. Okay, this is going to bring us back into Steam. What we want to do is we want to quit Steam, exit VR, and now we're back at virtual desktop. We can, if you're comfortable with it, you can continue the steps from here, because all you're going to do is here in your Halo folder, I'll exit this out, on your desktop, your Halo folder, double click it, and in here, double click VR. You'll have your config folder. You can double click it, and you can find the settings you want to change, and you can change it here in VR. Or you can exit out completely of VR, take your headset off, and do all of this on your flat screen. I'll go ahead and do that for the sake of the video, but I'm showing that you can access this and easily change the settings while in VR and jump right back in. But let's exit out back to flat screen, and we'll get these changed, and then we'll come back in, and we will we'll play a little bit of Halo, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're back at the desktop. Let's double click Arc. It's empty. You can go ahead and throw that in delete. You can take keep and just put it off in a corner. The delete, you can either throw that in the recycle bin, or you can admire it for a little while. I'm just going to put it above the recycle bin. Now, let's go to Halo. Inside Halo, we want to double click VR. We want to double click config. Alright, here's our VR settings. Let's go. So, What VR settings do we want to change? We want to change smooth turn. We want better melee. We want to enable the weapon holsters. If you picked smooth weapons, weapon smoothing, you'll have that option instead of weapon holsters if you used weapon smoothing. There's also left-handed and show crosshairs. A lot of good different settings in here. So, smooth turn, let's do it. So, let's look for it. There's left-handed. There's snap turn. There it is. Take snap turn, change that to false. You can also change your snap turn amount, smooth turn amount, all of that. So I'm scrolling down because I want to find, here it is, left hand melee swing speed and right hand melee swing speed. I like to put these at 3. So that way, because I like to move my arms around, and if I move them too fast, it'll set the melee off. This lets me move my arms a little bit faster without the melee just spamming itself. We also have enable weapon holsters. So that's scroll down, that's all the way down. Enable weapon holsters, let's go to true. Beautiful. And that's all I really want. I want my crosshair on. Just smooth turn, better melee, and enable weapon holsters is all I want for the moment. So we're gonna click the X and we're gonna click save. Perfect. You can exit out of that, and we're good to jump back in. Everything should be good to go at this point. You should be able to launch the game and play it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just keep recording, and I'm going to jump into the game, launch it, and get to playing it a bit. I just want to thank everyone for watching. I hope the tutorial helped. Again, there's a educational guide that goes into greater detail in the description. There's the Discord, a lot of good people on there that help out. And then in the comments, there's my text tutorial as well. So there's several different ways for you to get this set up, including this video. And I hope it helps. A lot of fun, and people are going to be just probably adding more stuff to this by the week. But this is a really stable build, a lot of fun, and definitely worth checking out now. So with that being said, I just want to thank everyone again. Like and subscribe. I'm gonna jump into some Halo. All right, guys, I am here in virtual desktop, about to jump into some Halo. Gonna get my OBS set up. Always check your audios. My audio output was not connected, so we are going to connect that. I have this one active. That's good, and my game capture is good as well. I believe I can minimize that. Now I'm going to push start on my left controller and launch Steam VR. There we go, beautiful. Gonna hit start on my left controller, bring up the dashboard, and bring up my desktop. Inside the desktop, I'm going to minimize that and open my multitasking. Within the multitasking, I'm going to hit a folder down here. This will bring this up. I can double click desktop, and then I can double click Halo. You'll hear the administrator prompt. You can't hit that in Steam, so you have to hold start on your left controller and switch back over to virtual desktop. Switch to desktop. There it is. Click yes. And you'll see it pop up. So we're in virtual desktop right now. That means I can close that. What we want to do is just click anywhere on the window, anywhere on the Halo window. We just want it to be the active window. So after clicking on it, we're going to press start and then switch to VR. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. This is still the desktop view, so let's click Now Playing, Return to Game. All right, main menu. There we go. Let's see what we can't get into. New game, huh? What about which one should we do? How about Silent Cartographer? That's always a classic. Beautiful. Beautiful.
The Covenant believe that what they call
So the drop ships, they wig out a little bit.
The cartographer is a map
You might have to
lead
skip
us
these
to Halo's
cutscenes.
control. The island has multiple
Oh,
structures
are we
and
good?
installations.
Are we good?
One of them
Oh,
contains
oh,
the
we're
map.
good. We're okay for a moment. Gotta take the bad with the good. Gotta take the bad with the good. Ain't that right, Marines? Let me out. Alright, let's see here. Can't switch weapons until I go to my right shoulder and click grip. We got smooth turn. And everyone looks beautiful. We'll throw a grenade at that one. Oh, he's fast. You ain't nothing, you blued armor bug. Give me something. Switch weapons? Let's play with that. Ah, beautiful. The needler feels so crazy. It's like an actual rifle holding it. I can't wait till they get Halo 2 modded and we get dual wielding.
Affirmative. Echo 419 inbound. Somebody order a warthog.
You know it.
Hey, I didn't know you made house calls for him. You know our motto. We deliver.
Booyah! We deliver. Pizza pie. In your eye. Don't know what that means. Sounded cool. Ain't that right, Marines? Hoorah! Oh, everybody jump on in. So we're gonna be doing full gameplay videos of this.
Okay, let's move out.
So I would like
Look on the
everyone
map
to
shows the location of Halo's
you
control
know, keep me in mind. Check me out. I'll be playing some Halo. Some Halo in VR. Well, I'm gonna run over this jackal. I'm gonna miss that jackal. I'm gonna try to get me a splatter before I quit. Oh, what a beautiful splatter. I'm coming back for that. Never mind, that jackal's dead. Alright, well, I think we'll go ahead and call it up here at the control room. I'm not gonna do the whole level, just a quick little bit of it to show it off. Show it working. Show it doing its thing.
I'll bet the silent part
Slam!
inside that facility.
I already have heroic gameplay recorded. I played through the game on heroic for my first playthrough of Halo VR. Heroic is a difficulty that Bungie said to play it on for the true story experience. So that's what I did, and I got that recorded. That I'll be releasing. Be doing all sorts of videos with Halo VR. Very excited about it. Gonna be doing something funny right here. They don't expect it.
The cartographer must be.
Wait for it.
Don't let them lock the doors.
Oh, I won't. Oh, I won't. Oh, I did. Oh. Well, we'll have to get in one of the other videos. That's okay. You, I see you in there. I'm gonna get you.
I
All these
underestimated
needler
the
rounds.
Covenant's understanding of Halo subsystems.
I'll fire around
They've
that
locked the
corner.
doors.
He ain't
We
nothing
don't have
in
enough
there.
firepower to get through them.
Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Cortana?
Go ahead, Cortana.
We got plenty of firepower.
Found the control center?
Watch this.
Negative, Captain. The Covenant have impeded our progress.
See?
We
Plenty.
can't proceed unless we can disable this installation's security system.
What are you gonna do, Marine? Ugh.
I may be out of contact.
Ugh. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed the tutorial and watching a little bit of the gameplay here. I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and yeah, love y'all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Echo 419 to ground teams. I'll stay on station and keep an eye out for Covenant bogies.